I'm Stan and this is Rio and Vienna. Now, like a lot of kids, they love to ride their bike up and down the driveway. So today's project, what are we going to be building, Rio?
A bike ramp.
A bike ramp.
In the style of a seesaw.
That's exactly right. Now, the materials that we're going to be using, I've got a whole lot of fence palings and some fence rails from the fence I'm supposed to be building out the back. And I think I'm going to start off with the bike ramp about 450 millimeters high, and I'm going to have a series of holes in here so we can make it adjustable. So the first thing we're going to make is our base. Now that's going to hold our ramp. So Rio, let's mark a metre please.
1,000.
Yes. So I've just cut my 3x2 to 610 millimeters wide by a metre long. Now this is going to be the base platform that sits on the ground that is going to support our ramp. So what I need to do is fix this together, then we'll start working out our height. Very good. Ducky, you're up. Next thing, I've just chopped up some 3x2 on a 45 degree. They're just going to sit in the corners just to make sure that the box stays square. So now we've got to drill our hole so we can put a length of pipe through, so that can be our pivot point for our ramp. Now the only length of pipe that I do have around here, unfortunately, is my pull-up bar. Now I think the only one that uses the pull-up bar nowadays is this little sprat over here, don't you? Right, pull-ups.
Yeah.
Leave you to it, eh? So what we're going to do, drill a few holes in there. Now I've got a 33 millimeter bit, so it's slightly bigger than our pipe. Rightio, now I'll just do exactly the same for the other side. Okay, so we've got our bit of 6x2 sitting in the middle of our frame. I've got a clamp sitting on there. Now I'm just going to attach it with 4 of these 100 millimeter long bugle screws. So you ready, Ducky?
Yeah.
Let's rip into it. Now I've just taken some of our fence railing and I've cut that on a 45 degree on either end to 500 millimeters. Now these are going to be our braces to make sure it's all nice and strong. Thank you, Rio. So to fix them in, I'll put 1 screw at the top and 2 down the bottom. So what we're going to do is have the bar protruding about 50 millimeters through on either side. I'm going to put a bolt in that so that bar doesn't come out. Ducky, if you do the honours, slide that straight down through, please. And Rio, can you slip the washer and nut on? Okay, girls, so that's the main part, the platform all ready to rock and roll. So all we've got to do now is build the
seesaw part up the top.
The seesaw part up the top, right. So what we need to build this is a couple of bits about 3x2. Now I've cut these to 3.3 meters long. I've marked the center of it. And I've also cut another bit of 3x2, 75 by 50 rough sawn fence rail to 700 millimeters long. And I'll just put a 45 on the end of it just to fancy it up. And I drilled a hole right in the center, exactly the same size hole as we did on our base. So let's just line up the center of this with the center of our large 3x2. Screw that on. So what I have to do now is cut an angle on the end, so when this drops down, it's got to sit flush with the ground. I've just laid this out perfectly straight, parallel with the edge of my sheet, and I'm measuring 300 millimeters from the center of our pole to the edge of the board. Now I've ruled a line straight down, that's square with that hole. Rio's going to put a pencil mark down that line, please. So there's our 2 rails cut that are going to go on the outsides of our ramp. So I've clamped those together. We're going to mark it out at 550 millimeter centers to put our nogs in between. 550, good. And you can mark our 1100 here. 1100, yep. And the next one's 1650. We've cut our pieces of timber, which are going to be our nogs. So all we've got to do is screw them in, put our slats on top, and we're just about ready to rock and roll. Great control, not like your little sister.
I am a mat. And camouflage.
Perfect. Can you see it, Ducky?
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, Ducky, so get that nut and bolt on there for me, please. Okay, guys, that was some fantastic building skills. Let's see how good your riding skills are.